Last question for you, Tim. I guess this is going to be a half-hour show. Last question for you, Tim. 3 questions about the Ohio State National Championship run, 3 big-picture questions. This might be the most difficult question for any Ohio State fan, but the 41-year vet, this is the one person that I care about's opinion. I love Ohio State fans. I love Ohio State historians. I wouldn't even want Jack Park's opinion over yours, though, Tim. Okay. I want your opinion on this. 2002, 2014, 2024, as impossible as it sounds to do, the 3 national championships, not the teams, but what the championships meant, because you were there for all 3 of them. Can you rank them?
I think your latest is always number 1.
Latest is greatest, yeah.
It means you're still viable. It means you're still considered one of the elite programs in the country. I mean, no team, you look back through college football over the last, going back to like, let's just put it back to 1968 when Ohio State won its last, what I would call consensus national championship under Woody Hayes, the 1968 team. From 1968 to now, no other program in the country has been in position to win as many national championships as Ohio State has. The Ohio State football program has barely dipped a few times in that whatever many years that is run. Was it 60 years almost now? But to get the fruits of your labor, to actually win the national championship, just revives everything. And it brings this new generation of Ohio State fans into believing, they should win it every year. Well, nobody does that. Not even Alabama did that. But so your latest one is the most important one because it rekindles the fire and throws gasoline on it in many respects. 2002, that team went undefeated. It also won 14 games. And it went undefeated, became the first team in major college football history to go 14-0. And the drama in about 6 of those games was ridiculous, including the national championship game, which went to 2 overtimes. So huge at the time. So much of, the John Cooper era, they came so close at least 4 times there to winning or at least playing for a national championship. It was crazy, but couldn't get over that hump. So to shake down the echoes again was huge for that 2002 team. And, of course, it also, with Jim Tressel involved, they went on to go, 9-1 against Michigan unofficially. The Urban Meyer era was a revival at exactly the right time because of what happened in 2010 and 2011. And to get that championship the way they did, as quickly as they did, under Urban Meyer 3 years in was huge. That was also a team that lost early, came back, went through, including preseason camp, 3 quarterbacks to win that championship unexpectedly. Got in the back door of the first ever 4-team college football playoff, and then kicked the bar down as they went through the saloon against Alabama and Oregon. Well, this team came in through the side door because even after the loss to Michigan, you knew they were going to make the playoff. But what kind of team was this team going to be in the playoff based on what you had seen, the down and out in the doldrums, back the moving vans up to Ryan Day's house, who some jackass put his address on the internet. Are you kidding me? What a jackass or jackasses. But the bottom line is Ryan Day circled the wagons. In essence, in what he did after that game with that big meeting was he let his older players, really the entire roster, take ownership of this team. All right, this is a great roster. We think we might be the best roster in the country. Take ownership. And they circled the wagons. Actually, they circled and locked arms and said a prayer at the end of their, shake down, drag out meeting. And dude, how many teams in Ohio State history have you seen play like this team did 4 straight games against big time opponents? So it's hard to rank them, but the latest one is always the most important.
I think I agree with your list, Tim, and here's why. From a much younger perspective, I also think the latest one is always the greatest one, but at the same time, Jim Tressel proved so quickly he could win a national championship the year 2. Urban Meyer, the day he was hired at Ohio State, everyone knew eventually, more likely than not, he was going to win a national championship. And then he did it in year 3, kind of erased any questions. Now, hindsight is 2020, and he didn't win another one. So maybe that's naive, but that's also hindsight. Because when he was, I remember when he was hired, you remember when he was hired, we knew eventually Urban Meyer was going to win a national championship at Ohio State. It was a matter of time. It took Ryan to year 6. There were questions as early as as late as December 20th, 2024, even asking whether this guy could ever win a national championship. It took him to year 6. And so I think this is not only the greatest 4-game run that made everybody lose themselves when Jack Sawyer scooped and scored against Texas, when they battled back, when Notre Dame battled back and Ohio State had to throw one last haymaker with Jeremiah Smith, this embattled group, this much maligned group. So I will put 2024 at number 1. I will put 2002 at number 2 because I was 6 years old and I watched grown men cry in front of a TV. That championship, and I think we have lost sight of what that meant. 34 years. Ohio State may never go 34 years again without winning a national championship. 34 years. And Jim Tressel and that team proved that, yes, you still can win a national championship at Ohio State. This is not the 90s anymore, where they were losing to Michigan and not able to get over the hump and winning a national championship. And to do it against that Miami team, what a game, what a ride, what a season. I put 2002 ahead. The only reason that I put 2014, it's not to discount Cardale Jones or Devin Smith or Ezekiel Elliott or Joey Bosa, because I actually think 2014 would beat the 2002 team, and I think that the 2024 versus 2014 might play a 3-0 game because of how good those defenses were. But we knew Urban Meyer was going to win a national championship. It was a matter of time. And he did it. And that'll forever be one of the great stories in Ohio State history. But as for the 21st century national championships, I do think it goes number 3. And it's hard to rank these. It's like ranking your favorite kids. You know, I will say this. After the game, I asked Mark Pantoni what his favorite national championship was of the 4 that he's won with Urban at Florida, and then, you know, with Urban and Ryan at Ohio State. And he had no answer. Like, you can't truly rank these.
Right.
But for us, you know, it is interesting to put it into historical context of what each of these 3 mean. And I think this one is the most important. 2002 was the second most important because of all those reasons, proving that you can win one at Ohio State. And then 2014 goes 3rd.
And here's where the latest matters. I mean, ask Alabama fans right now how they feel, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they have all these memories of the Nick Saban era, and all of a sudden Kalen DeBoer is not good enough. And right on down the line, I mean, once you light the fire, you got to keep the fire going. And the Ohio State fire was down to embers again in the national championship realm. And boom, they threw about 2 gallons of gasoline on it the other night in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But what a gauntlet they had to run to get there. No team in history has ever run that gauntlet. So really, when you think about it, when you think about the process of elimination of even getting considered to play in a national championship game, it just went up huge this year with having to play a minimum of 4 games in the postseason. So I give it to the 2024/25 team, which, you know, we're almost a full month into 2025. The 2024 national champion Ohio State team deserves all the credit. And by team, I mean from the head coach down to the training staff, and then right on down the list. So that's where I fall on it.